Welcome to Full Speed Racing. My name is Alexandra Legui and I'm here at Donington Park. We've got some coverage of the F3 Cup coming up. The weather is terrible, but it should make for some very exciting racing.
The rain absolutely pelting it down here at Donington Park as the cars come to the grid for the third round of the 2012 F3 Cup, with Linton Stootley on pole position, Gino Ussi alongside them on front row of the grid with Mark Harrison and Chris Needham locking out row 2. The biggest grid yet assembled for the MS3 F3 Cup gets underway, and it's a brilliant start from pole from Linton Stootley. He is going to lead into Redgate for the first time. Also making a good jump from the line is Chris Needham, who will turn in second, with then Mark Harrison in third, Chris Dittman in fourth, Benjamin Harvey up to fifth, as everybody tiptoes through the gravel trap at Redgate. Very, very tricky conditions as the spray gets kicked up in the murk. The drivers at the rear of the field can barely see a thing, unlike the man leading the race, Linton Stootley, who has taken advantage of having a broadly clear visor to pull out a big margin over Mark Harrison over the first half of the first lap. So Chris Needham obviously slipping back down through the order somewhere. So it's Harrison in second, Dittman up to third, Benjamin Harvey in fourth, Gino Ussi fifth, Tristan Cliff in sixth, and James Abbott up into seventh position with James Cross just on his tail. Harrison through Coppice and then out onto the Dunlop straight. These drivers really having to give the white lines at the edge of the circuit and the curbs a very, very wide berth. Everybody thus far able to achieve that as the wind blows the spray across. It gives you an indication of just not only how wet it is, but also how blustery it is for these drivers who are yet to have a dry race in the 2012 season of the F3 Cup. Although the conditions, I have to say, are markedly worse than the ones that we had up at Alton Park over Easter, as Gino Ussi comes under some pressure here from Tristan Cliff, who looks the outside into Redgate corner. Ussi, though, in the blue and white car, able to hold his line from the red, and for the rest of the yellow car, Tristan Cliff, that's the one you can see through the spray as they plunge down through Hollywood and into the Craner curves. Ussi just able to extend a slight advantage. He tries to close up onto the tail of Benjamin Harvey. Harvey, the former GT Cup Championship racer, though, sticks to his guns, sticks to the racing line, and therefore Ussi can't quite find a way through and leaves himself vulnerable to attack from Tristan Cliff. All the while, Linton Stootley continues to pull well clear, and Stootley, let's not forget, is in one of the trophy class cars. It's a 1999 Dallara, whereas the cars back in front of us are all in the Cup class for the Dallaras up to and including 2007 Dallara. Tristan Cliff sporting one of those models as he turns into Coppice, still trying to get that run on Gino Ussi along the Dunlop straight, possibly to look to challenge into the Goddard chicane, to accelerate now along the Dunlop straight as Chris Needham onto the tail of Tony Bishop. So Needham looking to recover from whatever pushed him down the field in the early stages, moves to the inside of Bishop. Is he going to go through? Looks like he might be able to do so. Next car then, his sights will be that of Cat Impey, the Sky Blue machine. All the while, Linton Stootley just reels off the laps here at the head of the field. He is making this look very easy, isn't he? Because he's just taking the lines as if it was a dry circuit here at Donington Park. It's almost as if the water doesn't matter at all to him. He's built up an enormous margin in these early stages. Then Stootley, let's not forget, the former race winner in the MSA British Formula Ford Championship, so a very experienced campaigner, and putting that experience all to very good use as Benjamin Harvey once more comes under pressure from Gino Ussi down in towards the old hairpin, and he just plants the car in the middle of the road. He's going to make Ussi do this the hard way, and that means that around the outside goes Tristan Cliff. That's a brilliant move from Tristan Cliff to take the place away from Gino Ussi. He just found the grip around the outside of the old hairpin. He's now immediately applying the pressure here to Benjamin Harvey. Will he find his way through? Well, he certainly thinks about looking to the inside at McLean's, but again Harvey goes where the grip is around the outside. Cliff trying to get to the inside, slides the rear of the car, just twitching as they then turn through Coppice. Gino Ussi now just slipping back slightly from this battle. The one driver who's relishing these wet conditions is James Lederman there in the number 17 car in the Tom's machine, who's able to fight with some of the cars of a much more recent vintage, as Needham now piles the pressure onto Cat Impey. So there's Lederman. He is just ahead of Neil Harrison. Then we've got Cat Impey and the recovering Chris Needham. Needham in the number 1 machine looks to try and get the run on Impey down the Dunlop Straight, and will challenge into Goddard's as we have a spin. It's Tony Bishop who's gone off, so the man backed by Norwich Photo, not a Kodak moment to celebrate there for Bishop. Hopefully he can rejoin. It's not too deeply into the gravel trap, as still the battle's continuing out the field. That's Nick Robinson in the number 14 car, as yes, Bishop does rejoin, but he's now some way down the order, and the car mud splattered those tyres. Will take a few hundred metres just to get the muck out of their system as Linton Stootley arrives on the scene, the recovering Bishop, and has a spin all of his own. And I think that was largely because the two cars ahead of him, which were Bishop and Frank Thomas, were going significantly slower than Linton Stootley, and Stootley recovers and still has ample opportunity to rejoin before the second place, or what was the second place battle, comes to his tail, because as Mark Harrison continues, Chris Dittman has a quick spin. A very, very neat recovery there for the former Ginetta racer. And he maintains that third place from Tristan Cliff, who's now up to fourth as the safety car comes out. So the safety car is out. That's why Cat Impey has had a disagreement with the barrier. And unfortunately for Linton Stootley, that means that his advantage ahead of the field is going to be whittled away to absolutely nothing, as the field parade around behind the safety car, which pulls in, and away we go. And Stootley pulls the pin. He's got about 25 metres by the time they reach the pit exit, and he sets about building up his advantage once more with immediate effect. We've then got this great battle now shaping up for second, third and fourth. It's Mark Harrison, the white car, in second, the all-red machine of Chris Dittman third, and then Tristan Cliff in fourth position. He is trying to pull away from Gino Ussi in fifth position, so down through the Craner curves. And Tristan Cliff, the reigning Mono 2000 champion, who's taken the decision, like so many drivers, to move into the F3 Cup for the 2012 season, immediately finding himself running towards the head of what is an increasingly popular and increasingly competitive championship. It's given us some great entertainment in these wet races at the start of the season. I can't wait for the series to move on into the summer months, and we'll have some dry races, and I'm sure some absolutely thrilling action. Not that this isn't, but still the form book for the year needs to be written somewhat, because these wet conditions maybe not giving the drivers in the Lara F307 cars the chance to shine, as they still learn this new machinery to them, the car being new to the F3 Cup for the 2012 season. Well, along the Dunlop Straight, still no change in order in this fight for second, third and fourth, but Cliff again closing on the tail of Chris Dittman into Guy Chicane. He kicks up the bow wave from that Dallara as Linton Stootley's advantage is now almost the length of the pit straight, and he's only had a lap or so since the safety car came in with which to do it. Now Mark Harrison must be getting a bit frustrated with the pressure he's coming under as Cliff runs wide at Redgate, because Dittman is all over his tail, although Mark Harrison may not be seeing an awful lot of Chris Dittman either, with the amount of spray being kicked up. The view from those mirrors isn't brilliant. What about this battle in the midfield? It's Dave Kraskus who leads this gigantic train of cars. Stuart Wiltshire in number 4 machine has now got Chris Needham homing onto his tail. So that's going to be a battle to watch. The vastly experienced, historic Formula 1 racer, though, Dave Kraskus in the 77 car. He's got James Cross on his tail. Then next up it's another of the Jameses, that's James Abbott, as they put a lap on Frank Thomas, and then Stuart Wiltshire with Chris Needham just behind him, accelerating on through the Schwantz curve. Train of cars, and in these conditions it is so difficult, because these drivers can barely see anything ahead of them as Needham swarms all over the tail of Stuart Wiltshire, who's still trying to put that lap on Frank Thomas. Now this could give an opening possibly to Chris Needham to challenge Stuart Wiltshire up towards Coppice. He swarms all over his tail, and they're both looking to lap the slower car as it goes sideways for Harrison into Goddard's. Now will he go into the gravel? Across the gravel goes Tristan Cliff, and there's Harrison. He's beached. What a shame. Now he may struggle to rejoin from there, and that car is in quite an exposed position. Linton Stootley continues to lead the race, and the red flag, perhaps unsurprisingly, comes out. We're well over half race distance, and that will be a result. So it's an excellent victory for Linton Stootley. He wins the race overall and the trophy class. Second place to Chris Dittman, and then third place, and also winning the cup class, was Tristan Cliff. James Lederman taking excellent 14th in the race, and that also gave him Masters class honours.
Linton Stootley, fantastic result there. Another race win for you. Congratulations. How are you feeling?
Oh yeah, pretty good. Yeah, it's good to come here, having not really had any running at all this year, to go and win straight out of the box. So I'm quite pleased.
Absolutely. Red flag though, how was that race for you?
Well, it was all right. I got a good start and then just paced myself a bit, but the back markers got in my way a little bit, and I lost all my patience. That's why I spun, and then I lost the lead. It was just a case of just going for it again, fired me up, and then pulled away. And
Yeah, a little bit of traffic, which did result in a spin, but you were way ahead. Were you aware of how far ahead you were?
I thought I'd be pretty far ahead after the pace in qualifying, but yeah, the guys on the pit wall were telling me, giving me the gap, so I was quite happy.